Alright, there you go. And here's something we're looking at. Ancestral Lands History. Yay! I haven't news about this in Fest in a while. The games had some updates, like adding round fairings. Finally, I've wanted this. I don't think I really needed this, but hey, it looks better. Yeah, so the first thing that we built was essentially a tin can. Yeah, basically, yeah. This thing hardly even flies. Like, this thing was just built to do what we needed to get done. Which for some reason involved us building this horrific machine. Yes, I know. Essentially, the landing lights will keep the probe itself safe. And then there are these two engines to where I built the building. And the day it took a very long time to power up. Also, the engines will just turn off at any moment. And so we have like a, what do we have, a 700,000 budget? So yeah, we were pretty cheap. However though, on our first launch, we actually did something. That something got off the ground. Because, yeah, we didn't get very far before the rocket literally lost stability as soon as we put up the landing lights. The rocket completely lost all sense of stability. And the rocket, seeing this, a few seconds later, interpreted this as, oh no, we're all gonna die. And I just started to let the rocket completely program. Basically pointing the directions they were going, was just pointing them downwards instead of upwards in a way. Now, the rocket is supposed to go up, and from the tracking station, we can only see them on the map until they get past 5,000 meters. So we really don't know where we're going to be going. Now, the tracking station, we were easily able to see that they were going to go past 6,500 meters. When this rocket passes 350 meters per second, the probe got very scared and just shut off one of the engines. And then suddenly turned it back on. And then both engines just shut off. Considering that we got up to about 8,300 meters according to the altimeter, we got pretty far up. Obviously, though, we were almost entirely out of fuel in the first place, so we wouldn't have gone much higher if the engines didn't completely just shut off at the end. But this was fairly successful. Let's just time with the footage. As the rocket fell, it actually began to start stang a little bit. Though. The rocket was meant to deploy its parachute at approximately 750 meters, but due to an error, it deployed at 450. The landing lights deployed, so we have the parachute. And the fact that this thing still has quite a lot of weight on it, I'm surprised that just one of the engines exploded on impact to the ground. So yeah, this was awkward when we retracted the landing. It was actually pointed the thing upside down. So yeah, after those first few achievements, the space program then set its sights on just trying to build something that could get to space. It didn't necessarily have to return, which was good for the space program, I guess. I was like, if it didn't have to return, then, well, I mean, like, it could work. then again, I want to listen to the aerodynamic, and this is really aerodynamic. But still with just these basic engines. And still, they couldn't really get a good design, so they decided just to hold off on it for now. Decided they would come back to it later on, when they had essentially their next project done. Which their next project was, this is not going to be a sounding rocket. This is actually a jet. Actually, a supersonic fighter jet. And really testing it. See it? With an actual person in our first test. Yes, I am serious. Also, they just basically just used the old rocket design, just strapped on way less fuel. And this is like 3.6 tons of fuel. These things use what? A lot. Use a lot, but still. Also, they strapped on like 8 parachutes. After all, they didn't want the astronaut to die. After all, this was just gonna be a quick routine test. Test of the systems on board. Now, essentially, the goal of this test is simple. To see if one of the engines went out, could the rocket still fly? Okay, now obviously we're burning through our fuel here. So see if that engine went off. We just turn off the other one. We deploy our first parachute, deploy a second one, and deploy our third parachute. Actually, probably just cut that last one. Because, like, yeah. Oh boy. Let's just try doing a quick horizontal landing on low power. Okay, the lower power. Still, we're gonna attempt to. Oh my god, this thing is heavy in that one direction. Alrighty. So, yeah, rocket plane successfully landed. Now, here's the thing. Shortly after this, we decided to try to make something that could be somewhat reusable, at least. So we decided just to create the first 3-engine designed rocket, and yes, this looks ugly. But it was what had to be done with these new side separators to now carry up a small payload. Only problem is, it would push to one direction though, right? No, it wouldn't. This is this new RCS. So the new RCS system, the rocket found itself able to be controlled. And yes, they wanted the design to be fully reusable. So yes, that is why they made this funny looking design. Also, they had to push the design out a little bit further than originally planned. Because of design issues. Also, yes, they had to add an extra throttle on that they could actually control the vehicle. Essentially, descent was a nightmare on this thing. Essentially had to be a nightmare on this thing. Because you basically couldn't control this thing. And yes, in this thing's first test, it only used its back. So yeah, so in the second test, turn on two of the engines, turn on the third one, and then the whole thing just starts flipping out of control. We will get this to work, folks. The rocket did actually stream itself out. Sure, we didn't need RCS. We used thruster engines. So yeah, it was better. Also, we don't have to use stacking it up. Because they really only needed two engines. So rocket, so it's kind of just there to add weight in a way. And we got up to space. They gave the orbiter all of his fuel, and they successfully managed to detach the orbiter from the vehicle. They decided just to test the other vehicle's ability to try to get into orbit. Clearly, this was not going to be able to easily happen. Also because they couldn't fully test out its ability to reach orbit. Alright. So, yeah. The docking port's gonna have to burn. We're trying to keep the rocket straight. So, yeah. The rocket actually managed to hold straight, which is quite surprising until you realize that this thing doesn't have any fuel, so these parachutes don't hold this thing down enough. This thing's not going to be able to be reusable. But, surprisingly, they managed to actually deploy the parachutes in time. And they're going slow enough we should be able to land safely. Okay, that was not safely at all. So yeah, reusable is not the way at this point. However, with their new engine technology that they were getting, they were able to build something more intricately designed. They were still thinking on several designs using the cold breeze for the first stage, but those were not going to be used, in the way for the first stages at least. Essentially, the entire rocket just got moved up, and so yeah, the entire thing became 2 stages. So they planned to put the last stage in orbit and essentially just drop it there. That's why they added solar panels. To get power. This is their first orbital test. rocket went almost straight up for the entire flight, that first stage. The gold area is efficient in space. It's not. Just playing with my cat. This is our first orbital flight. For once. Okay, done it. Luckily, the tracking station is upgraded so you can see it as long as it's 100 kilometers up. And just watch this thing majestically fly. It's so close to Earth. Look at that Earth. It looks beautiful, doesn't it? Where's the moon? I don't know where the moon is. Oh yeah, there's the sun. Zoom again. Wait, just listen. Alright, anyways. Let's just, yeah, just exit the space center. I'm gonna be dizzy. So after that, we now have a new generation of rocket. These rockets will propel us to the moon. We'll come back to you next episode with the first manned flight of a spacecraft to orbit. See you then. Bye for now.